Hi, my name is Parker Sublette, and I want to talk to you about my heritage. I want to talk to you about one of the greatest influences of my own heritage because he was one of the main fur trappers of the frontiers. His name was William Lewis Sublette. He is my fourth great-grandfather. William, or Bill for short, was born in 1845 as one of the oldest out of 5 boys in his home in Kentucky. He started out as a sheriff in St. Louis, and once he realized that wasn't really what he wanted to do, he decided to push into the Rocky Mountains. When he pushed into the Rocky Mountains, he found his true passion. What he did was he fell in love with fur trapping. He was known for establishing also the South Pass, which was across the Rocky Mountains for the wagons that had to pass through to get to the Pacific coast. He was one of the first also fur companies to start up in the United States. When he started that fur company, this was with 2 other partners, Jedediah Smith and Dave Jackson. The fur company didn't last as long as they wanted. Jedediah Smith had some issues and went to California and lost furs and got killed in Texas by some Comanche Indians in Texas, while Dave Jackson wanted to be back on the East Coast. So that left the business to Bill. Bill then decided to sell the business. He sold his business to 5 men, one being his brother, Milton Sublette, Jim Bridger, Tom Fitzpatrick, Henry, and Blackhair. Those men established that fur company and made it what is known today as the Rocky Mountain Fur Company. So, he gets a business going, he establishes it, figures out he doesn't really want to run that business anymore, but what he decides to do is really follow his passion for fur trapping. So he goes into the Rocky Mountains more, and what he does is he gets together all the other fur traders, and he wants to get them to do these rendezvous every year. So the year prior, he would set up a day and time and location for that year, the next year following rendezvous. He had these rendezvous happen every year. It was a big deal. A lot of people showed up, a lot of fur trappers, of course. It was a mix of white fur trappers and Indian fur trappers. What really made him also known was the Battle of the Pierce Hole. This battle happened at one of his rendezvous. What happened was the not so nice Indians who hated fur trappers, they were called the Blackfoot Sioux, they attacked this rendezvous. My great-grandfather Bill got a arrow stuck in his foot, and what the men did was he didn't stop. They leaned him up against a tree, and he decided to conduct the battle from the tree, leaned up. He was wounded, he could have died, but he decided to keep on going and telling the men what to do. So what my grandpa did was he established and was one of the main fur trappers of the Rocky Mountains. He built a company, he laid a pass, that South Pass, and he was a known frontier guide. Because of this, his legend lives on, and they have dedicated in Wyoming, it's called Sublette County, Wyoming, and they also have Sublette, Kansas, and they also have Sublette Range in Idaho. So I hope to enlighten you guys with some of my family history and heritage. These fur trappers were fearless and tough, and there was nothing like them. You had to be utterly mentally strong, and I hope to be like that in every day of aspect. Thank you for listening.